man back there for being our greeter today. If I could ask Todd, you're up front, and will lead us in O Canada, please.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And I ask if you would raise a glass and a toast to Canada. Yes. The Queen.
Liz.
And to the Kitchener Westmount Rotary Club. We bow our heads, please. Lord and giver of all good, we thank you for our daily food. Many Rotary friends and Rotary ways. Help us serve thee in all our days. Amen. If we have, obviously we have a lot of guests here today, so I have Graham, would you like to introduce your guests first?
Well, me. Maggie Santos, who's a director with Active Canada. My parents, Jim and June Gardner, and my wife Louise, who's a visitorian.
Okay. And John.
We have two guests here. They're Mike and Linda Willis from Guelph. They are representing the Canadian Transplant Association and wanted to hear Graham speak.
Oh. Is there someone else?
Michelle.
Yeah, my guest. This is Nick Burke. That's my boyfriend.
Perfect.
And I brought my wife Michelle. She wanted to hear Graham speak also.
And I brought my wife Karen because she wanted to hear Graham speak as well. Wow, a lot of pressure. Anyone else? Is there anyone I missed? No. Very good. So I'll ask Graham, you have your table lead us to the buffet, please.
Michelle.
Follow us.
Don't get in behind Kim. You slow down the process. He's actually moving pretty quick. Yeah. How long since that?
Hey, Brandon.
Any suggestions for I did a little research last night.
I have a little bit of an experience. She's now working on the reserve. Selling cannabis.
Oh, really? So is she? No.
She went there one day with a friend.
I was very good.
It's interesting. And they pay for
She's on the reserve. Good job there.
Legally, I would think that she
Well,
Tell people to go to the account, make sure it's the same as our account. Okay, that's fine, whatever. You know, it's a bit late here.
There it is. Yeah.
I thought that was one of those.
It was actually.
So Grandpa, they're renovating our bathroom right now. Yep. And so they paid Joe. He started last week before we left for Mexico. And still not done. It'll be another week, we think, but slowly getting there.
Somebody gave me this.
No, that was good. Looks good.
Are you sure?
Where did you
Well, we had just got it.
Nope,
Made this year. So that's in 2005. It's way north of the village, so it's a remote little boy, Gardner.
Yeah. 2 boys and 2 girls.
General speaking, then he gave her 2.
Well, we're doing the best that they had.
Thank you, it's such a pleasure working for you, and she works with us, apparently that's how we bought it. That's how they bought it.
That's a good supply.
I went from Fort Worth to Dayton, Ohio, and there were a lot of road stops there. Of course, you have to have the second room back way and have open stairs.
Another back way. They were
Like that. Go down and pick a couple up.
This year, cold at night. Does it that long consistency, clear, lighter, lighter syrup.
That's why I make you relax. Still sleeping. I haven't really sunk in yet.
You used to have my uncle used to make it on his farm. We'd have a big gallon jug.
We'll go back.
And we'd have with ice cream, we'd just have a dish of syrup with a piece of bread.
That's my dog. Put it on back.
I've got a few more. I've got a limited number of files to deal with. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
If I was parking, I'd pull up your back doors and parallel park. No, I pull up and then at the time it says foot card or like let go of the wiggle just there. One.
Does it drive itself too?
It can, yeah.
I went to Mitchell last night and it said, I have the lane, whatever you call it. So I left the and after a while, the sign comes out, says, put your hands on.
But you want to make sure you do that only if one's down, it's real bad gravel.
It's really fine, yeah. Actually, my car's not even running last night. I was thinking
the owners are supposed to where do you want volunteer appreciation? Setting up in the air. We do a hockey drop at work.
No, just in the last year or so, I got started. Just don't require retinal degeneration syndrome or something like that, so I'm a retina in the eye. And the eyeball
send your organs to heaven knows we need them here.
Used to be.
the way the doctor described it, but several years ago, pixel into vision was black. I have to wonder sometimes, come around the corner, I like to tell people the extreme, my grandparents gave my book,
Signed all that.
And then the truth comes out, it was a 9-hole course, and there's a 10-shot maximum. I scooped through it in 88 or something. I took some lessons once. And for a while I enjoyed it. But then I found it became too stressful. I wanted to make that good shot, which means you didn't. And just as you're about to throw the clubs away, then you'll make a really good shot. And just try to stick with it.
And then allowing tailgating. It really spoils the look, but I get it.
He made stickers. Took his newspaper owner, and he posted them on top of all the men's shirts. And it said, give us a place to stand, a place to go.
3 rounds
What does that mean? Every 30 minutes, like, oh, my throat is here. And then you come for a cuddle. And then you fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, my parents are here. Anyone else want to come?
The office tournament, I'll do because I know it's equally embarrassing to all around.
No, there's no getting it.
I invited my wife too. She had bridge. And her back was two brain surgery. She missed fundamentally. I had to report. She's doing really quite well.
Days with all that problem, you were looking for 20 years ago.
Extensive surgery. About 6 years.
Like if you're kind of a saucer, that's what I'm for. I did good. I was like, what about the other guy? Like, he was fine.
I would like to. In 2 weeks.
Today's people. The young family, professional kids.
Coming along.
You don't even make
Remember, do you want? And you get like one.
Get it done.
Otherwise, you go to 6 weeks still.
You get a new heifer, you get a refinish. You, I don't want no offer. I have a friend who went in, they had 2 kids, and they didn't know what they're gonna do till they got in. What they did is they polished his hip. He had arthritis.
I have a picture.
Guaranteed to last.
It's not something out there.
My cousin had that.
It starts off with the universe.
Actually, my neighbor across the street, he was a guy member. I deal with roads and
Very modest, not in good shape. They're going Tuesday. They had badges.
Well, I'm the one.
Rotary's I feel like I haven't wasted it. Bang
You got your money
away
back,
grass
right?
and-
Yeah, and also puts a big old hole in your shirt.
I tried to console myself because I got more hits to the ball
What do you mean?
for my money than everybody else.
Well, yeah.
Michelle just came back from.
Your price per swing is pretty low.
Corey Connors sure put.
Sunday?
Good time to take
Next
them.
time?
I'll let
Healthy
you
butters?
skills.
Great resort?
Well, they're buddies.
Four were recorded between
Corey Connors' great grandfather.
See the MPP, the paper got it from one of them, carried over there. They showed us two judges from Costco, and they give them He didn't do a lot of research. Remote in Ontario.
When his wife lost her, I know her leg there. More fun than she was so angry or so more street
Like we're back on the street.
You might notice about your mom will be happy to drive you over. Did you read
For the golf pool? The Masters weekend.
Bolero.
You're not looking very well.
I have a master's.
From Texas up to there. That's pretty good. I read that Golf Canada. The week before they'll have that. But it was last year.
I like that. You know, it's all. They have an option.
Not a good idea.
Probably sign up. It's not an
Hear stories about really frown on people we got to play with
Five in our back, my sister and I don't drink tea or coffee.
While you're finishing your coffee and dessert, we'll get the program moving here. David Barth wants to say a few words.
Just if anyone is interested in some maple syrup, our chair of our board at World Accord has a small sugar bush, and he donates 100% of the sale value of the syrup to World Accord. And so, yeah, and he's got a little bit of discussion about the reserve here. And this is coming from a sugar bush out by Milton. So it's kind of on the shield, and apparently that's supposed to have good minerals in the soil to make the syrup extra tasty. So these are $10 a piece if anybody wants one. I have still 7 left here. Thank you.
And I look out and I want to welcome back our world traveler, fresh from Israel, back yesterday. He says Simon says he's going to talk to us one day about give us a talk on the Israeli election over there, what they've just gone through. So that might be an interesting chat to have. I looked down and there were no members' birthdays this week, but I know that Laura and Larry must have partied on the 8th. Did you? Where are you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Larry's birthday?
Larry's birthday. Yep.
Perfect. Anniversaries this week, Paul and Louise Pupolo. Actually today. So he must be out with her for dinner today.
Down in Marco Island.
43 years they were married.
Living the plan.
And anniversaries for dates of joining Rotary. It's today, Ray. Your anniversary. 23 years. Congratulations.
You don't look old enough.
Bingo this week on the 18th. I have Everton, Wilmont, Kathy Levies, and Neil Aitchison. Yes, we got a guy.
I was busy.
280.
Graham, I'll get you to pull out 3 tickets for mix them around.
Here's one, yeah, not like last week.
427.
418.
No.
Is that right? Put it on.
It's the same kind of look.
Thinking real life.
Yeah, but
Yes. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4.
And so the pot today is $280.
So we'll get the decaf.
And if you have a ticket with the last 4 numbers, it's 8447.
We made a deal, right?
Yep.
You remember?
8447.
Last name.
Laura. Oh, that's too bad. 8445.
Roll around.
All right.
Is that you again? Say, watch your heart.
You like it like that.
Double the you just reach in and grab a marble. Hopefully you pull it back in.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the last ticket, 8421.
See if you have your mom's luck.
Give it a go.
You have your luck?
She has my luck.
Oh.
And it's pushed forward. Is there any other Rotarian that would have anything that wants to be added to the business today?
We got out of town.
No? Okay, well then I'll call on Everton, introduce our speakers.
Dude, everyone's the average.
You're not supposed to have
So I really don't know what much to say to introduce Graham. Graham is Graham. That says it all right there. But he's here to tell us his journey he went through with his both Graham and Louise, their journey they went through with the lung transplant. So let's welcome Graham up.
That's right.
It's me first. Hi.
Wow.
This is so exciting for us. This is, I guess, one of our first. We also, second, we did Jim Kibble's congregation, which was a little start for us. So we're really happy to share our story. And I'm going to start off by letting you see that on the screen we have a website address, and we're trying to get 100 people to donate, be on the donors list for organs. And the website address is beadonor.ca/campaign/Graham-Gardner. So right now we're at 25, so we're pretty excited about that. So you can go on that website. Not only can you see donate new, but you can also see if you are unclear whether you did or did not donate, you can go and check it out and see if you have or have not. So please make sure at some point you check that out. So first, let us introduce ourselves. Here we are. We're both retired. Graham, as you know, owned Select Sports for 45 years. I was an executive leader with CWT for 40 years. Graham retired last May, shortly after his operation, and I retired this January because I felt life was too short. I didn't want to spend a lot of time away from Graham, and so really pleased. Now, I'm not so sure about that now that I'm with him 24/7, but hey, it seemed a good idea at the time. Married 44 years. We have 3 children, you know Michelle. And our oldest son, Trevor, has wife Sarah and 2 grandchildren, Eason and Cameron. And second in line is Matthew, married to another Rotarian, Carol Weeby's daughter, Erin, and they live in Calgary. And Trevor took over Select Sports. I'm not sure if you're all aware of that, but he's now the owner of Select Sports. Matthew is a chemical engineer, process engineer out in Calgary. And then Michelle and Nick Burke, new to the family, but love him to death, and he's not going anywhere on my watch. Have been together for a year now, and they just got a new Lexus, so things are good over there in their household. So anyways, that's us. So a couple on the statistics, and then I'm going to let Graham take over for a while. So adult lung transplants, very interesting if you look at the number of transplants. These are global numbers from 1985 to 2016. So, you know, started in 5 down there at the bottom in 1985, and we're up to 4,554 lung transplants. There are double lung and single lung transplants. So statistically, there are 3,643 doubles and 911 singles. And so singles might be because doubles are not available at that time, and Graham will talk a lot about the triage list, etc. But transplant has come a long way, and this is only lung. And of course there's heart, there's liver, pancreas, so on and so forth. Here in Ontario, we had a record-breaking year with the most tissue donors. We had 118 donors after death. We had 195 lung transplants, and we had 2,413 tissue donors. So Ontario is a wonderful place to live. Just in the news a couple of weeks ago, Nova Scotia has now made donors mandatory. So it is an opt-out now instead of an opt-in, which is a really great place to be. And we do need, definitely need more donors. So Graham, let's talk about the journey.
Well, thank you very much. We all know that being a donor is a very important thing. Without donors, there are no transplants. Without transplants, I'm not alive, or Mike's not alive. So Memorize that. We'll get in the bulletin. Once you're harvesting your parts, you don't need them anymore. But a lot of us did, and a lot of us still will. So be a donor. We're here to talk about my personal journey and my family's personal journey. We did find out that everybody goes through transplants differently. After spending 5 months in the hospital and meeting so many wonderful people in the same situation as us, everyone is different, but we're all very similar. We all go through the same rejections, but at different times. So my story is mine. It may not be somebody else's, but it's going to be close. This whole thing started about 15 years ago when I started to have tingling in my skin. I developed an autoimmune disease called scleroderma. Scleroderma is, my body came up with this disease. Derma is a word for skin. It attacks your major organs. Skin's the biggest organ you have. So first thing I did was attack my skin. My skin went hard, my flesh went hard, and I darkened up. And to be honest, I was very buff, but it was painful for a while. It then decided to attack my joints. It went heavily into my feet, my ankles, my knees, my hips, my hands. Medication and steroids were then administered, and that really took care of a lot of the problems I was having with my joints. Then it decided to go after my lungs. That's about 3 years ago. It went after my lungs very hard. X-rays are now showing that the lower parts of my lungs were hardening, and every X-ray was coming up higher on my lungs. So my lungs are basically being killed by the scleroderma. On September of 2017, I had my first respiratory attack. I was at home. Were you home that day? Yep. You were home that day. I could not get oxygen from my lungs. They were producing up to my heart. My heart was racing like a freight train. So 911 was called. The ambulance, the police, the fire department all arrived. I got my first ride in an ambulance to St. Mary's Hospital. I was then put in the ICU unit for, I believe it was 5 days. The hospital staff there then contacted Toronto General to let them know just the dire situation I was in. Now I had to wait. Oh no, I went on oxygen. My best friend for months was the portable oxygen backpack. 24 hours a day on my back, in my nose. I went back to work. I had a refill tank at work and in my garage at home. I lived with this thing and stepping on that cord and stepping on that cord. I think the best part about recovering was getting rid of that cord. It was a pain in the neck. Then on November the 14th, I suffered a severe respiratory attack. I could hardly stand up. Louise was in Toronto. I had a button to push, got hold of Michelle. Michelle called 911. Somehow I got down the stairs. The fire department had just arrived. I was then put on oxygen. They took my blood pressure, which should be between 92 and 100. Mine was registered in the mid-50s. So I was in a very dire strait. They got me to St. Mary's Hospital with all the sirens and all the lights going.